Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Austin from Boss, and today we're going to talk about the output routings on the SY-300 Guitar Synthesizer. So, the output routings are super cool. It's really fun to use because then I can start spreading out my sounds a little bit more. Maybe I want to have the guitar just be through the guitar amp and the synths when I turn it on just be through the PA. Or maybe I want to run guitar and the synth sounds at the same time through the PA and the guitar amp, or a mixture of both. So a little fun things about that. The sub outputs will deliver anything that you want from the signal chain. So this is movable within the signal chain of the SY-300, allowing me to isolate specific sounds or specific routings to a PA or a secondary source. The main output is unmovable. This will be all of your sounds at once coming out whenever you turn on or off the SY-300. And then you also have something called a through, and the through is a dry output that's always running dry guitar all the time. So to adjust some of the things in this menu, we're going to take a look at it in the signal chain first, and then I'll tell you how to adjust it as a master setting. So first, we're going to go into the Synth Effects button here. I made a blank patch for you like I did the last few videos. And we're going to use the select knob here to scroll over to here. And it says P sub. And P sub is your sub output. As you can see, I can take the knob down here, the knob all the way to the right that says move, and I can drag it anywhere in my signal chain, before or after effects. And basically the sub output will only play everything that's after it or before it. So I can move that around, separate specific oscillators, easy peasy. So now to take a look at it as a master setting, we scroll out and go to the menu button here, click into System, and we scroll over to Output. Hit Enter, and then we have a couple of settings here for the master output settings. Main output mode, or main output off mode, basically is going to say, well, do I want to have my guitar running through the SY-300 or bypassed to my amplifier, or do I want my output sound completely cut off and it will turn everything off? So that's the way you do that. Most of the time I leave it in bypass because when it's turned off I still want to hear my guitar signal coming through. But this can change depending upon what type of routing signal that you want to mess around with. Next is the sub output mode, and you have three options for this. When the sub output mode and when the unit is off, it will be a mute, so anything that is going into it is not going to come out of the sub outputs. Next we have bypass. This will basically be the dry through guitar going to the sub outputs. And then lastly, it will always be on. So we'll have all the synth sounds on all the time, whether I have the unit on or off. So most of the time I leave it in the mute switch because when I turn it on I want the synth sounds to come out of the sub outputs, if you so choose it. Next is a noise filter. This can depend upon your input signal or the pedals that you're using maybe beforehand or afterwards. Really cool to mess around with, especially if you got using some gain pedals going in there. Next is the output select. I have two options for this. I have a amp, which is basically if I'm running the synthesizer main outs to a guitar amp, or line output or headphones. So if I'm running the output maybe through a PA, I can set it to line output phones and it'll adjust the output volumes accordingly. I've got another page over here, main and sub output level mode. So basically that will determine what the output level knob is going to do overall for both sound outputs. So main and sub, this knob is controlling the main output and the sub output together. I have a couple more options here. I can have a fixed sub output level and I can adjust it with this knob. And the master output level will be saved here. Next, I have the sub output level mode and main out fixed. So this will adjust the sub output and I will have my main fixed here. Or I can have the output level knob completely bypassed and the main output and sub output levels are fixed all the time. So that's the options for that. Most of the time I leave it for main and sub outputs. This can change depending upon your routing signal. And lastly, I have sub output system control. So basically this is where I can make the sub output position in my signal chain a master setting or a patch setting. So right now if it's turned off, that means that it is going to be a patch setting. If I turn it on, it will be a master setting for the entire unit. So, and same thing if I scroll over a patch. So I have a sub output level. If I page over, this will determine my sub output position. And this has all the exact same features and routing suggestions as the patch menu. So as you can see, I can scroll through all the signal chain and determine where the sub output is in according to a master setting as opposed to a patch setting. And that's it for the output routing signals. Thank you so much for watching again. My name is Austin from Boss. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to comment below. Hit the subscribe button if you wish to watch more tutorial videos from me. And have a great day. Thanks a lot, guys.